Would you say that there was a time, and this is, of course, the question that one can never answer because it's an illegitimate question, because as all the wise guys have said to us lately, there are no events, and what did they happen to, and the blah, 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 blah. So despite all that, I'm going to ask you one of those illegitimate questions. Would you say that there was a time or a day or an hour or a moment in your life, and maybe since your Bat Gap interview, where you felt either a huge aha, which you could describe, or where you recognized that the feeling of fear had melted away?
Yeah, there was, and it was before I was interviewed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the joy of that interview was really fun because it had only been about, maybe 4 years before that.
Oh, that long.
Yeah. And
I thought you were going to say 4 weeks.
4 weeks?
Yeah.
No, it had been about 4 years, but I've been living in this just beautiful joy of fearlessness, going, wow. And this goes back to what he wanted to talk to me about, but we didn't get the chance to do it, and I so wanted to. But I wanted to talk about the child that my teacher, William Samuel, had shared all this with me about the child, and I kept looking, what is this child he keeps telling me about? Eventually, I got it. And in that came the fearlessness, and I so wanted to talk to him about the child. Yeah, let's talk about Bill, but that's not what it's about. It's about what he showed me, what his books are about. I was just bursting to want to tell him that. But anyway, the joy, it is this discovery that happened that brought about a fearlessness. It's stayed with me.
So I guess I asked the question in the right way. First I said, was there a big aha moment? I said, or a moment when the fear dropped away. And that's how you would attach to it more, that the fear dropped?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I guess I would say that.
can you say more about that? Maybe what the fear was about, or if anything replaced it, or if there was just nothing that you didn't have to have a spot for it anymore, or any of that.
It was like something coming into focus. Like having, looking, like I'd been looking at life through, like, let's say, binoculars. It was always like we were just talking about this or that, trying to get from here to there. If I become this, I will be, let's say, and just to put it in my old words and the old thoughts that I would have, I would be closer to the truth, closer to knowing what reality is, closer to knowing who I am. And
closer to, quote unquote, being enlightened? Was that a word?
Yeah, I guess I kept thinking to be enlightened would be
a good deal.
A good deal. It would be make my life easier, better, improve me, do something for me.
Give you that ticket.
Yeah. And I think the whole trip was I wasn't realizing that it was what the jewel was, what the true beauty of it was, that there wasn't any enlightenment. There was a complete opening up and being fearless. That's the only way I can say it.
What, can you say one or two or three things of which you were afraid before? If I can transfer the word fear to afraid, which makes it kind of different. I mean, were you afraid of...
No, it was fearful of, let's say I'm going to lose my husband.
Yeah, well, you didn't have that.
I'm going to lose my life. I'm going to lose it. Well, once I guess maybe when I finally had to walk through losing everything, everything I loved, everything I was attached to, everything that, once I felt that I'd lost all those things.
But literally, had you just in that period of time lost your husband, or had that happened before?
No, that had happened quite
Before, yeah.
But it brought me to that. I had to keep letting go.
Sort of
Keep
like
letting go.
dealing with it, that
Keep
was
letting
gone.
go,
Uh-huh.
Keep letting go. Everything I did was kind of like I had to just keep letting go. It isn't in that. It isn't my safety, my security isn't in things.
Right.
And then one day, and I can't even explain how it,
Mm-hmm.
but it really was one day.
Uh-huh. Were you here in this room?
I was sitting in my bedroom.
Uh-huh.
And I just went, wow, this is the child that Bill was talking about. She's back. It's like when I was a little kid, I didn't fear anything. I didn't care what came and went and what I had and what I didn't have and I was free. I was completely free as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And that little girl came back. And I went, oh my gosh, I am fearless. I love her. What a sweet girl. So that's why I'm saying it was so real, so honest, so true, so authentic, so me. I didn't have to get rid of me. I didn't have to lose anything. Everything came rushing in. Everything I'd always loved was here. I hadn't lost anything. It wasn't a loss. It was like the whole thing turned around completely. I was being filled up with everything, and it wasn't going to leave me. And that was the miracle, because I kept thinking, if I can let go, I won't be so afraid.
Mm.
But it was the other way around. It all came back. There's nothing to let go of. It was so extraordinarily beautiful. I don't have to let go. And I went, oh my God, what a gift God is. It wasn't that I was trying to be taken from. It's a giving. It was completely reversed. I gained and was given everything, and it's never left me since.
Now, I have two things I want to say about that. That's so interesting. Yeah, here we go. So, two things. One, thank you. Well, three things. The first one is thank you. That's so good. And it's so unlike the way I word things. And that's why communication is so good. You know, somebody was saying the other day, we all want truth. Do we want truth in monologue, or do we want truth in dialogue? And dialogue, if we allow ourselves to have it, is so much stronger, because we kind of hold on to our own monologues, and that makes them a little brittle.
True. Plus, there's also that thing about confirmation, because you hear something that you know in your heart, and you hear it, and you go, "Oh my God!"
Well, now we're taking opposite sides, because I'm saying no, I don't want confirmation.
okay.
I like the opposite.
Okay.
Because then it's firmer.
Okay.
You know, I don't just have to hang on to what I'm saying.
You and I are great together.
Yeah.
We both come
Because
from
I
two
want
different
the everything.
directions.
I want the everything.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. It's probably because it's earth and fire. So I think I mentioned to you, although not in real life, it was just on the internet, that shortly after I first visited you, I'm sitting in bed with my computer in the morning and the coffee, the typical morning, and suddenly, like Sigourney Weaver in The Alien,
Oh, wow.
my little girl just came right up here, and she just
wow.
overtook me. She was just my little girl. She was just there. And up until that time, that, oh, you have to be nice to your inner child, it was just a concept.
Right.
But she just sprouted up like an
Exactly.
alien. Yeah. And so I remembered her for a couple of days. I mentioned it to you, I mentioned it to somebody else, but now that you're talking about it there, I'm asking myself, but wait a minute, did she stick around? Was she there this weekend when I had a political argument at a party, you know? If only I had remembered that she was there. But what's glorious about those moments is you don't have to remember. The girl just pops up.
Exactly. She's right here.
Yeah.
She's always right here.
She's right there.
I keep saying, she holds my hand. She goes, come on, Sandy, come on.
Yeah,
And I
well-
go, yes, let's go.
Yeah, your little girl might hold your hand, but my little girl went into hiding again, you know.
Connect to power outlet
Oh.
to charge device.
Connect a power outlet to charge device.